Guys, it's Rebecca Avila here back with the Tuesday podcast, and we have a long-awaited member to interview. It's Mr. Ochoa, the advisor for Rally Creative.
Hi everyone, how's it going?
So I want to get this interview started off by asking you, how did you get your start in video and photography?
I was studying communications and I loved it. And one day I was like, you know what, let me just buy a camera. And so I just fell in love with it. I started to learn through YouTube videos, self-tutorials, all this stuff. And then I ended up, becoming a full-time, cinematographer, photographer, started doing it professionally, doing videos for companies. It was awesome. It was a great experience that I got to go through. And, just a lot of self-taught, a lot of hours just researching things, Googling stuff, how to figure out, how to work a camera, how to work with audio, how to work with lighting, all these different things. But, fast forward years later, and now I have the honor to be here and teach you guys.
Speaking of teaching, last year was actually his first year ever teaching, which a lot of people don't know. So I want to ask you, what's your favorite thing about it? What was your favorite thing about last year?
Yeah, so last year was interesting. So before that, like I mentioned, I used to work for my own company, and most of the time I was just in front of the computer by myself or I working with clients. And last year was just kind of like a culture shock for me because, now I have 20 to 30 students in each class, and I'm like, what is going on? And so it was a little bit of a shock, but it was actually really fun. Just seeing how all the students really loved, photography or videos or editing and different things. And so it was cool for me because there was a hunger there, and I love to teach. That's just me naturally. And so we got to do some awesome things last year, which one of those things was start Rather Creative, right?
Speaking of Rally Creative, what was the hardest thing about starting it last year?
So last year, the hardest part about starting Rather Creative was, well, first, I didn't even know anybody. I didn't know any students. I didn't know, who are the creative kids on campus, who are the ones that are interested in this. And I remember we went to a football game, and I was taking pictures and video, and there was this girl who was taking pictures of cheer, and she was on the sidelines, running back and forth. And I'm like, who's this girl? And so she introduced herself to me. Her name was Rebecca Avila, right? And I started telling her about the vision, what we wanted to do, and it's about Rattler Creative. And she was like, I'm going to be the president of Rattler Creative. I'm like, okay. She spoke it into existence. And so this is year 2 for her being president of Rattler Creative. But it was a very slow process, and you were there from the very beginning, trying to get people involved. People don't really understand still, what Rattler Creative is. And even this podcast is something we thought about last year. It's just taken a whole year to kind of get it going. And we got equipment now. Before, we had no budget at all. The cameras that we had here were 10 plus years old. And so when I walked in here, none of the stuff was stuff that I had used in the industry. And so our school CTE program was able to get us new equipment, new lights, new microphones, all the things that we need to be successful. And so this year we finally got the ball rolling with our podcast. We're doing RCTV, the segments on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And it's been great. It's been fun, to be able to see, students be able to get hands-on experience with such pro-grade level equipment.
Yeah, last year was super fun. What was one of the things that you're the most proud of from last year?
I think last year, there's a lot of things to be proud of. But one of the things that I'm really proud of is our students competing. And so we compete through Skills USA, and there's other film competitions and things that we compete throughout the year. But for Skills USA, we had a bunch of students make it to state, and that was actually really cool my first year to take all of them. Rebecca was one of them. She made it to state for extemporaneous speaking. She can talk, and so just give her a subject and she'll talk about it. But that was fun. We had students, Catalina and Daniela last year. They placed second at state. They should have won, but that was a whole other thing. We had a bunch of students compete, and that was such an amazing experience. You get to go and do that. Hopefully we get to do that this year as well and bring more people along with us. But I think just the competing aspect is super fun, because normally we can just make videos and other stuff, but when there's I'm a very competitive person. If you don't know me, that's one thing you'll know about me. And I just love, having that involved in film and photography. And so, man, I love competing. I know Rebecca's very competitive. She's on the undefeated in district volleyball, Sherryland volleyball team, right? So shout out to the volleyball team. They're killing it. They're really killing it. And so she has that competitive edge. and I know she translates that to everything she does as well. So, yeah. So really quick, I'm going to kind of take over the podcast. Let's talk about volleyball. If that's okay with you.
Yeah.
I'm hijacking your segment just because this is probably the only time I'm ever going to be on the podcast, so might as well.
You just don't like anything to be about you.
I really don't. So I'm cool behind the computer by myself.
So volleyball.
Yeah, so let's talk about it. How's it been?
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Like, I love winning. Last year we had like almost the same team, but we lost. And it was weird because we were better than other teams, but we would just keep losing. And it was so annoying.
Yeah.
But this year, like, what really changed was our mentality. Like, it's actually crazy. Our mentality last year was like, it was just so weak. And this year, like, we all grew together, like, as a team with chemistry. And, like, we, like, get over those obstacles. It's crazy. Like, we're, like, they're pushing points on us, whatever. We're in a rut, and he won't call a timeout. Like, our coach won't call a timeout. And so we just have to figure it out ourselves and, like, just, like, motivate each other and, like, just be, like, really, like, strong in our mentality, knowing that we're going to win and, like, believing in each other. And it's made, like, an insane difference. Like, we play, like, we've just never been this good before. Our volleyball team, like, we haven't been this good in a long time also, like, in general.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm really excited.
That's
This
awesome.
second round, our minds have to be even stronger to keep winning. And, yeah, but I think we're going to do really good.
That's super cool. And I know that, like, well, half the volleyball team's on Rattler Creative, if you didn't know that. So even just this room, there's volleyball people in this room currently. But, man, you guys, I remember last year because they would be like, sir, are you going to come take pictures at our game? And I'd go. And then they take it to, like, 5 games and they lose, like, close matches. And it was really sad because, like, I mean, I'm their teacher, right? And so I'm there to support them. And then they come up short, even though they're really talented. But this year, like, I've seen a change. And so I'm proud of you guys. Like, you guys kind of overcome, like you said, mentally. And, you guys are just, killing it. You're doing great. And so I'm proud of you guys. And so, yeah. That was me taking over.
Especially for our senior year. Like, it's so exciting.
Yeah.
It's like, even though, football's not doing well, at least we're doing well.
We love you, football. So the other half of the football team's also in Rattler Creative, and they're in my class as well, but we love them.
Poor guys.
So, yeah, you can go back to your questions about Rattler Creative. Sorry.
Okay.
I just wanted to take it over.
I think I wanted to showcase a little bit of what this new year has brought us, like our new equipment. Mm-hmm. So, you want to go see?
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look.
Okay, so that's all for today's podcast. Mr. Ochoa, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, just really quickly, if you want to join Rattler Creative, come and join us, come talk to us. We're more than excited to get this year rolling. And we want to see, who are the creatives out there at Sharyland High School. We want to get you involved. We want to help you, support you, and let's create stuff.
Bye, guys.
Bye. We'll see you.